There is a specific face your dog makes, and you already know the one. The head dips a little, the eyes lift, the inner edge of each eyebrow pulls upward, and the whole face opens into something soft and round and almost impossible to refuse. Most people have a single word for that face: manipulation. The dog wants the food, or the walk, or the warm spot on the couch, and it is figured out that this exact look is how it gets them. A small, furry con run on you nightly. That is not what that face is. Your dog did not learn it, and it is not running a trick on you. That look is the product of 30,000 years of evolution, and the strangest part is who was holding the chisel. It was not the dog. It was us. Start on a dissection table, because that is where this was finally settled. In 2019, a team led by Julianne Kaminsky at the University of Portsmouth, working with the anatomist Anne Burroughs, did something nobody had bothered to do carefully before. They compared the facial muscles of domestic dogs and wild wolves, fiber by fiber, and published it in the journal PNAS. Almost everything matched. Wolves and dogs are close enough that their faces are built from nearly the same kit, the same sheets and cords of muscle, anchored in the same places. Except for one. Above the inner corner of each eye, dogs have a small, dedicated muscle called the levator anguli oculi medialis. It has one job. It lifts the inner eyebrow. That precise movement, the one that makes the puppy dog eyes. And in the wolves, that muscle was not really there, not weaker, mostly absent, present at best as a few thin, irregular fibers. And that single muscle does an outsized amount of work. Lifting the inner eyebrow tugs the whole upper face open, and it makes the eyes look bigger and rounder and younger, the way an infant's eyes sit large in a small face. One small movement, and the whole look arrives. The wolf, without the muscle, can barely make that face at all. The dog has the hardware for it. The wolf does not. There was one beautiful exception. When the team checked a Siberian husky, one of the most ancient breeds, the muscle was barely formed. The husky sits closest genetically to the wolf, and its face quietly admits it, which tells you this is not some old leftover the dog happened to keep. It is new. It grew inside the dog on the short timescale of domestication itself. Biologists have a word for what is going on here: pedomorphism. Dogs are, in a real sense, wolves that never finish growing up, keeping the soft features and the playfulness of a puppy deep into adult life. And the face is where you see it most plainly. We did not just tame the wolf. We froze it halfway in its own childhood. So why that muscle out of everything evolution could have reached for? The answer is sitting in your own wiring. Decades ago, the ethologist Konrad Lorenz described what he called the baby schema: a small set of features, a big round head, a high forehead, large eyes set low in the face, that human beings are built to find almost unbearably endearing. It is the blueprint of an infant. And when you see it, you do not decide to feel tender. The response fires on its own, underneath thought, in the part of you that exists to keep helpless things alive. The inner brow raise walks straight up to that switch and leans on it. It makes the eyes look bigger. It rounds the whole face, and it mimics, almost exactly, the shape a human face makes in sadness, the expression that pulls other people toward us when we are hurting. In the system researchers use to code human faces, that inner brow lift is the movement of distress, the look a person wears when they are about to ask for help and are bracing for a no. So when a dog makes it, you are not only seeing something cute, you are reading on another species the exact small expression your own brain has always filed under please. A dog lifting that inner brow is, by pure accident of anatomy, wearing the one face you are least able to turn down. And the dog aims it at you. In 2017, Kaminsky's group ran a follow-up, this time in the journal Scientific Reports, designed to catch when the expression actually comes out. They sat 24 dogs in front of a person and changed two things: whether the person was facing the dog or turned away, and whether food was on the table. The dogs raised the inner brow far more when the human was facing them and watching and far less the moment she turned her back. And here's the tell. The food barely mattered. If those eyebrows were only excitement spilling out, a treat should have set them off. It did not. What moved the face was the gaze, not the snack. Now, be careful with that, because it is the easiest thing in the world to oversell. It does not mean the dog knows the look works. It does not mean there is a little schemer back there choosing the moment. There is no plan behind those eyes. It means the expression is wired to surface most in the exact situation where, for 30,000 years, it has paid off. A human looking back. And it pays off in a way you can actually put a number on. In 2013, Bridget Waller and Julianne Kaminsky, again at Portsmouth, went into animal shelters and recorded how often each dog made that inner brow raise. Then they tracked how fast each one found a home. The result was clean and a little heartbreaking. The dogs that raised the inner brow more often were rehomed faster, markedly faster. One small movement of one small muscle in a stranger walking the kennels was more likely to slow down and soften and carry that particular animal out the door. In a shelter, that is not a charming detail. That is the difference between being chosen and being passed. The face has a survival value here in our world, and the value is made entirely of us. And think about how fast that had to happen. A brand new muscle in a face is not a minor edit. Anatomy like that normally shifts over millions of years across entire branches of the tree of life. This appeared in maybe 30,000. A blink. Something was pressing on the dog's face hard and fast and with one very specific target, the eyes. Now turn the whole thing around, because once you put those three findings side by side, the story stops being about the dog at all. A muscle that wolves do not have, an expression sharpened on human attention, and a measurable reward in our homes and our shelters for the dogs who use it most. Run that for enough generations and ask what the pressure actually was. It was us. Not lightning, not famine, not some hard winter out in the wild. The force that grew that muscle was a soft human heart, choosing. For thousands of years, in villages and farmyards and back rooms and shelters, the dogs whose faces did this to us got fed, got kept, got bred. The ones that left us cold, more often, did not. We were the environment. We were the thing being adapted to. The puppy dog eyes did not evolve to fool you. They evolved because they worked on you, over and over, until the working was sunk down into the bone. So the look is not a lie, and it is not really even the dog's invention. It is something the two species wrote together. The dog supplied the face, we supplied the preference, generation after generation, by melting every single time without fail. Go back far enough, and there is a wolf at the edge of a fire watching us with a flat, unreadable predator's stare. And somewhere across the long dark between that night and this one, we reshaped it, never once meaning to, into a face that looks at us the way we look at the things we love. So the next time those eyes find you across the room, and you feel the small, helpless melt arrive before you can stop it, do not call it manipulation. You are not being conned. You are looking at the answer to a wish we never said out loud. We wanted something to look back at us like that, and we wanted it badly enough, for long enough, that out of a wolf, slowly, we made it. The eyes were never asking for the food. They are the proof that it worked.